This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses. When it comes to your mother, you want her sleeping in a comfortable bed. When she's with me, she won't have to worry about that because I sleep on a Novilla mattress. Let me tell you, when your mom is at my place, she is sleeping on a very comfortable mattress and she is going to get you one as well. Meet their Bliss Organic Memory Foam Mattress. Perfect for those who want a cool, dry, undisturbed sleep throughout the night, made with organic bamboo charcoal fiber, excellent motion isolation, cooling gel-infused memory foam that fits all bed frames and is reasonably priced. Perfect for if you want an inexpensive mattress for you, your children, or even for your guest room. It comes in a box delivered right to your door, and you get 100 nights to try it out. Skip that trip to the big box mattress store and get a mattress from Novilla. Throw out that cheap Walmart mattress you got in college and get yourself a mattress made by Novilla. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Again, that's 10% off using promo code Schweezy. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Hello, and what is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome to yet another episode of Christmas Schweezy, not Cancel Schweezy, if you have, like you've probably expected. You know, you're listening to Christmas Schweezy, the one time of the year where I don't get canceled, I get Christmased, and that's what happens. Yep, I bet you're wondering how that works. Anyways, though, we got a great show for you today. I'm Schweezy, better known to you and your moms as the Foreplay King. What is up? Welcome to another best episode ever. It's the Christmas season. This is the best season of Christmas Schweezy. Or the other name, Cancel Schweezy. It could be one of the two, but it's one of those, it's the most wonderful time of the year. From the top, make it drop, that's a wet-ass pussy. The bells jingle belling, everyone telling you'll be a good cheer. We donned our gay apparel,
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
So yeah, no, the gay apparel has been donned, nothing to worry about there. But for the rest of you, welcome to the show today. Got to tell you, probably gonna be our best episode ever. I can't imagine we've made a better episode than the one we're about to make today. So call an ambulance, but not from me. I actually don't know if that sound drop's any good. I've just seen the meme. Call an ambulance, but not for me. Welcome to the show, Cancel Schweezy, the only podcast that knows Santa comes. He comes once a year. And that's on Christmas, Christmas Day.
Like that.
So welcome to the show today. If you like Christmas music, then you can check out my cover of Last Christmas off of Never Nude Records, Grandma Got Run Over by a Tour Van, which is out now wherever you stream music, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, wherever you get your music at. You can find, at least you can Google, you can look through Schweezy and find Last Christmas. You could find the whole compilation all together, support some other great artists from around. I don't want to say the world, but around, I think is gonna be the best term to say. The best bands around. Yeah, I mean,
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
You can't do that there. So definitely go check that out. Never Nude Records, part of their compilation album. Grandma Got Run Over by a Tour Van. You have me. You have Ghost Town Remedy. Those are the only bands I can think of that are on this compilation. Everdeens, I remember them. Dad Hats. Are Dad Hats on that album? I think they are. I thought I saw them on there. A bunch of other bands too. So definitely don't be stingy there.
Mark, don't be stingy.
And go check that out. A band I've been playing with and I just recently released a new single, Stonehouse, the band Stonehouse, all one word. Released their first single, American Honey, out now. I recorded it, so it actually does sound good. I would say otherwise if it didn't sound good, but I recorded it, therefore it has to sound good.
I identify as a fucking threat.
So definitely go check that out. They just released it on Saturday, so you're definitely going to want to check that out because it's a Schweezy production. And anything that's a Schweezy production, therefore means you have to go check that out. For more information on music and podcasts and whatever I release anything, go check me out on social media at TheSchweezy, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Wherever you use social media, you can definitely go check that out there. Every Thursday, I've been streaming. I just finished the main story in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Not Legends Arceus, Jesus. Pokemon Violet. And so I'm probably going to do some post-game stuff. I'm going to see all the post-games. Maybe do some decks finishing on stream. A lot of fun to be had. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You know?
I like that.
So definitely go check that out as well. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can connect it to your Twitch Prime account to subscribe to me over on there. So over on Twitch, following anyone's free. So you definitely better be doing that shit.
Feel like a woman, a real woman,
or else. Yeah, you better be following me over there because that's free. No credit card required. However, if you want to subscribe to someone, that's the best way to financially support someone over on Twitch. It's typically around $5, but if you have an Amazon Prime account already, connect it to your Twitch. You get a Twitch Prime, subscribe to someone once a month, and why not make it your good old daddy?
That's my hole. That's where it spits.
And and that's basically also taking $5 away from Jeff Bezos. So 100%, I will tell you right now. Best thing you can do is definitely go over there and cheat the system. Cheat the system over on Amazon. But if you do want to financially help support us in the best way possible, we have a Patreon page. It's a great way to say they can be your friend. It's basically a tip jar right now. But we always love it. We always thank you. And I always call it the Golden Girls because it's a great way to say thank you for being a friend. Travel down this road and back again. If your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. But remember all the free shit you can do. If you're an audio listener, which a majority of you are who listen to this, make sure you're going over to our YouTube page and make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to build up our audience over there. And also building up our audience, we also post our highlights of the episode too. That way, if you, instead of just, telling your friend to listen to the audio at a specific point, you can just send them that clip. They can watch it. I know some people like to drive and listen to podcasts, which that's not good for video format. But if you like put it on your TV, the podcast on the TV, it's just like from iTunes or whatever. Why not use the YouTube video? Help us build up our audience over there. But if you're an audio listener, make sure you leave us a review and give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1-star rating. That way, we get Apple's and other podcasting services attention to say, "Hey, look at me." But also, if I should be like everywhere podcasts are. I forget this on the audio side. I forget this all the time, but if I'm not on a specific service that you like to use and we need to be on that audio platform, I've been doing this for a while now, like a good solid long while now. So I assume that I've gotten it everywhere. I know there's one podcasting app I always like. People like Overcast, I think it is. Everyone loves listening over there. Spotify, I always like make sure we're on Spotify, and iTunes is not hard to get on. And then everyone else, sometimes someone has like the most random place they want to listen to a podcast on. And so it's just like, I think all we have to do is just throw our RSS feed over there. It's not that big of a deal. Like we already pay for like what we already have. So everything else should go through our distribution. So anyways, though, that's all the shit you can do.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Yeah, because that's honestly, just don't be stingy, folks. That's the lesson today. All right, let's jump into previous week right now. What is previous week right now? I'm glad you asked because I'm going to explain it to you. For those of you just like, I know what previous week right now is, but explain it to us again. So just make sure everyone knows. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Previous week right now is the news from the previous week. But it's not just every news out there. I can't go through all the news, folks. Nor do I want to, because if you really do that, it's sad. We don't like sad news over here. We're like to pretend the world isn't too bad most of the time. It's the Christmas season. Why I love the Christmas season is because everyone stops being an asshole. Be like, you know what? It's Christmas. It's time to be. You know what? It's the holidays. You know, I'm gonna help you out. You know, people just want to help each other out, be good people, and yeah, that's why I love Christmas. That's why Christmas is the best holiday. My favorite holiday, at least. I know a lot of women like Halloween. That's a red flag. But I also really like Halloween too. So, and it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Anyways, I've been rambling on enough. Let's just jump up. Nope, sorry. Someone else is going to say it. As Philip DeFranco said.
Let's just jump into it.
All right. We're here. Texas woman allegedly dumps 50 pounds of feces at police station.
Feel like a woman, a real woman.
I meant to press.
What?
I guess that works. That works too. That's from the New York Post, folks. Someone is on this Texas woman's crap list. Mindy Jeanette Stevens, age 46, the wife of an assistant fire chief, allegedly dumped about 50 pounds of human S-T, I think they mean human shit, in front of the Electra Police Department last week, KXAN reported. A police officer noticed a person making a suspicious deposit in front of the station on East Cleveland Avenue on Thursday, authorities said. He went outside to see what was going on and discovered 3 5-gallon buckets of what appeared to be human waste. An affidavit posted by Law and Crime states the officer also saw a person clad in a hazmat suit and wearing a yellow mask walking to an SUV with a trailer. He attempted to ask what they were doing, and a female stated that the buckets were human human shit. I don't know. If you're reading something, you don't need to censor it. That's just my mind. And she was dropping them off. She then got in the vehicle and drove off, the affidavit said. A police lieutenant reviewed the surveillance video and recognized Stevens' voice, officials said. Police Chief Terry Wooten then contacted City Administrator Steve Boland about the Melodorus matter. Don't use that word. And noted that the woman is the wife of the assistant fire chief. Bowen was also in a local firefighter, reportedly told Wooten that he would raise a stink with Stevens and order her to come pick up the buckets or she could face charges. But the woman refused to clean up her mess and said it was not her problem, the affidavit said. Stevens was then charged with misdemeanor illegally dumping over 5 pounds and under 500 pounds, a violation of the Texas Health Safety Code. She was released Friday after posting a $2,000 bond. In 2022, Stevens was charged with aggravated assault after allegedly attacking a man with a set of keys. Last year, she reportedly pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of assault and served a short stint behind bars. A motive for the recent smelly episode was not known. So she's married to the police chief. Not the police chief, the fire chief? What do they call him? What was it? Texas woman, and she's assistant fire chief. Usually firefighters are normal people, and they're either normal or, like, I would call it normal weird, where it's like, yeah, they're normal, but in the weird way. You know what I'm saying? So here's something I'm going to make a hypothesis. Remember in school, hypothesis means a guess. I think that's what it meant. I've been out of school for a minute. But a hypothesis, like hypothesize, if I do this, then this. My hypothesis, if she's the kind of woman to dump 5 gallons, or was it 5 gallons of shit? No, okay, I'm going to start this over. If this woman dumps 50 pounds of feces at the police station, that means she's the kind of woman who's great at sex. I'm saying, like, she's just, it's like the crazy ones, you know, the ones you're like, I need to leave her. Like, it's not good for me to be around her. But then you keep coming back to her, you know, and there's a reason you keep going back to her, because she is great in bed. Good pussy. Ladies who have good pussy know. But ladies who don't know, good pussy, you're born with good pussy. And that's why you should always go for a pretty good pussy. I think great pussy, like we're talking about here, that drives a woman crazy. A good dick, but a good dick will drive a woman crazy too. That's weird, though. I never thought about that way. Like, you know, like a good dick will drive a woman crazy, but then a good vagina drives a woman crazy. Like, just having it drives her crazy. I never thought about that. That's a lot of gender inequality right there. And then there's the non-binary people. We didn't even think about them. How's that they, them pussy? How's that work? So yeah, what was I talking about then? Oh yeah, this chick has to be good in bed. That's one thing I would say. I started thinking about dicks, and I just lost it. Lost my memory for a second. Lost my train of thought for a second. No, like the type of woman that's gonna dump 50 pounds of shit in 3 5-gallon buckets. Like, it's one thing to just have that, but like, she had to either work on that for a couple months, eat a lot of Taco Bell. There's a lot of questions I have going on here. Anyways, though, gender inequality, that's what we're talking about right now. A good dick makes a woman go crazy, but the woman who has a good vagina makes her go crazy, and it makes a man go stupid. That's what we learned from this woman. That's what we learned.
What?
Okay. This is from KCTV. If your dog died, prove it to us. Olive Garden manager fired after time off rant. A Johnson County restaurant manager sent a harsh message to employees about taking time off and was subsequently fired. An Olive Garden media relations representative confirmed to KCTV5 a manager at the restaurant on 95th Street sent the below message to staffers. Our call-offs are occurring at a staggering rate. From now on, if you call off, you might as well go out and look for another job. We are no longer tolerating any excuse for calling off. If you're sick, you need to come prove it to us. If your dog died, you need to bring him in and prove it to us. If it's a family emergency, in quotations, and you can't say too bad, go work somewhere else. If you only want morning shifts, too bad, go work at the bank. If anyone from here on out calls out more than once, already a spelling error, in the next 30 days, you will not have a job. Do you know in my 11 and a half years at Darden, how many days I called off? 0. I came in sick. I got in a wreck literally on my to work one time. Airbags went off and my car was totaled, but you know what? I made it to work on time. There are no more excuses. Us, collectively, as a management team, have had enough. If you don't want to work here, don't. It's as simple as that. If you're here and want to work, then work. No more complaining. That's how it's complaing about not being cut or not being able to leave early. You're in the restaurant business. Do you think I want to be here until midnight on Friday and Saturday? No, I'd much rather be at home with my husband and dog, going to the movies or seeing family. I don't. I'm dedicated to being here, as should you. No more excuses or complaints. I hope you choose to continue to work here, and I think we, management, make it as easy as we can on y'all. Thank you for your time, and thank you to those who come in every day on time and work hard. I wish there were more like you. Olive Garden manager message. Okay, and then Olive Garden the corporate had to reply back. The restaurant representative stated, "We strive to provide a strong and caring, respectful work environment for our team members. This message is not aligned with our company's values. We can confirm we have parted ways with this manager." I'm gonna be honest. From where
I like that.
I really don't like that. But second, I know for a fact working in fucking retail, I've worked in I worked at McDonald's that was the only restaurant I worked in. I was like, I don't think I'm going to work in restaurants. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If they like that manager, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they like that manager, the manager's still there. They're going to say they parted ways, but that manager's still there. Like, the manager could say the most racist, homophobic, like, they could say shit so bad. They could pull a Kanye and just make Alex Jones go like, what the fuck did you just say? And shit like that. Like, they could say that. Like, that person's still going to be there. The only way you get into management positions like that is, like, you don't have friends. Like, you're not the kind of person who has friends. And you lick assholes. That's what you do. You lick management assholes. That's how you move up in corporate worlds for the most part. I know a lot of friends are like, yeah, I worked hard. I'm like, yeah, you work at a normal place. Let's just point out, if you work at a normal place, you don't have to do that. If you work at most places, there's most places and normal places. Hard to find a normal place. Very easy to find a good. It's hard to find a good place. It's hard to find a normal place. I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying to say. There's good places. That's where you work. Where you're like, I just did my job well, and they gave me a promotion. That's called a good place, and that's why they're a good business. Then you have places like Olive Garden, and I bet you can't find that many people who've been there for long. It's always in like management or whatever, because they make people quit and stuff like that. And like this shit, like this, like I've never been the kind of person who'd like call out unless I really needed to, and that's it. And this is Olive Garden. If you told me, if I would say this, if you went up to everyone who's like eating at Olive Garden and just be like, hi, I've worked here 11 and a half years and I've never called out. I've just came in sick and everything. I'm like, I'm not eating at this Olive Garden anymore. That's fucking disgusting. Like, you're like, you encourage people to not, if they're sick, to come in. That's what you do around food. And especially food. And it always seems like, I can kind of get retail or whatever because, like, for some parts of it, and you can just try to be like, hey, let's not, or whatever. And office jobs, I can see, coming in a little sick too, because a lot of office jobs, for the most part, is like, you're not really around people much. Like, I remember when I was working day jobs and it was just like in office jobs, I was not as sick as I always got like a really bad cold summer and fall and spring. And it was like when the big weather changes, like I would always get like a nasty cold. And this year, I've been doing more live shows and stuff like that, starting to force myself to do that more. Like I just, 2 weeks ago, I was like dead. I was like, I haven't felt this sick in years. But yeah, no, I don't want people calling in sick. If your dog died, bring your fucking dead dog into a fucking restaurant. Let's not forget the man who brought a dead raccoon into motherfucking McDonald's. Fuck it, we're playing that video.
This nigga done brung a dead raccoon in the motherfucking McDonald's. Look at this shit. That motherfucker dead in the motherfucker. This nigga got rabies like a motherfucker. This motherfucker crazy. They ain't gonna bring it in there where the food at. Nigga, you so motherfucking stupid. Look at this shit. This motherfucker put the raccoon on the table. It's on the table? He come look. This motherfucker got him on the table, bruh. And he getting up leaving now. Look at this shit. Look, he leaving now. Look at this motherfucker. Wow, this motherfucker bring a dead ass raccoon into McDonald's. This nigga crazy, boy. I tell you. Only in San Francisco. Only in motherfucking San Francisco. Nigga trying to come get him something to eat before he go to work. Look at this bullshit.
And that McDonald's, they had to close down for a few days. To disinfect the place. What this manager is wanting is for employees to bring in a dead dog into their restaurant And health code would say, like, yeah, you guys got to shut down for a few days. And guess what? A lot of those managers, very few restaurant managers are on a salary. So that means no one's getting paid for a few days. That's worse. It's just one person. And, overall, I would just say, for the most part, if, and I have a friend who's like a manager at like a gas station, and what I'll say that, like, if someone calls out too much, like, there's a clear sign there. There's something there that they need to work on, or unless it's like a day of the week they need off, they just like really should just like, hey, I really need this day of the week off, and they keep scheduling on that day. I'm like, the restaurant needs to know, like, hey, you can't, that guy's not working this day. You could call him and see, like, hey, you want to come in, but expect him to say no and stuff like that. It's just, that's how you do management. That's how you do it. But for the most part, like, yeah, people are going to call out. If they do it excessively, yeah, you have to be aware of it. That's the only kind of, like, point system I get. Like, even being late, there's people who are just, like, fucking assholes. But, like, if you live in a big city, it's like, you can't control traffic, You can't control if there's, like, a standstill in traffic and you're an hour late to work. Like, you can't control that. But, like, calling out, that's where I think the point system works, where it's like, hey, like, I can gather a point or half a point or whatever here. Just that's why you save them for when you actually need them. That's my recommendation for all of you. But, like, if they're, like, doing this shit, maybe hire better employees. And if better employees don't want to work for you, that means you need to get new management. Which I 100% doubt they actually fired this bitch who was doing this shit. I just 100% believe it. That's just that's. I don't know.
Let's go full throttle. Feel like a woman, a real woman.
First of all, ride or die, bitch.
This is the type of guy you get.
We found it. We found it at the end. Don't worry. Okay. This is from CBC. It's kind of like ABC, American Broadcasting Company. That's what it stands for. It's not like, alphabet thing. CBC, like BBC, is British Broadcasting Company, not Big Black Cocks. CBC, as in Canadian Broadcasting Company. Quebec class action alleging Fortnite is addictive will go ahead, judge rules. A Quebec Superior Court judge has authorized a class action lawsuit against Epic Games, the developers of the popular video game Fortnite. The suit was first brought to the courts in 2019 by 3 Quebec parents who claimed that Fortnite was designed to addict its users, many of them children, to the game. According to the original filing, the plaintiffs say their children exhibit troubling behaviors, including not sleeping, not eating, not showering, and no longer socializing with their peers. According to the filing, one of the children was diagnosed with an addiction by an on-call doctor at a Quebec clinic, or CLSC, in the Lower St. Lawrence region. It also notes that the World Health Organization, WHO, recognized addictive gaming disorder as a disease in 2018. Jean-Philippe Karen, one of the Calex legal lawyers working on the suit, said the case isn't unlike a 2015 Quebec Superior Court ruling that found tobacco companies didn't warn their customers about the dangers of smoking. The game has designed patterns that make sure to always encourage players' engagement. You have to understand that children's prefrontal cortexes, that's how it says, I never knew how that was spelled, are still developing, so that could be part of the explanation for why this game is particularly harmful, he said. The class action will also discuss in-game purchases, namely cosmetic items known as skins, and the game's battle pass system, which offers expanded rewards as players level up. The children allegedly spent excessive amounts of money on V-Bucks, and in-game currency users buy with real money, which can be exchanged for skins or used to unlock the battle pass. One of the children reportedly spent over $6,000 on skins, while another spent $600 on V-Bucks. Superior Court Judge Sylvain Lucier described as without any tangible value that may run afoul of Article 1406 of Quebec Civil Code, where serious disproportion between the presentations of the parties, meaning the obligation to provide something in turn, creates a presumption of exploitation. What we are saying is that basically young people spend their pocket money to buy something that basically does absolutely nothing. Examples as skins or a battle pass, said Karan. Karan said they're encouraging others whose lives have been negatively affected by Fortnite to get in touch, as they could possibly be eligible to join the class action. Whether it's in their grades in school, an increase in aggression, the fact that they no longer have social contact, so any impact Fortnite had personally on the family, on social and educational or professional activities, we invite you to contact us.
What?
Okay, so I'm a Fortnite player. I actually haven't played in a minute. Pokemon games, I'm telling you what, man. If it's a new game, Pokemon game, I'm playing it. But the idea of like Fortnite is addictive. Like Fortnite is addictive. There's so much fucking shit. Like, first of all, don't tell your children about League of Legends. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to tell you. Because your children find out about League of Legends, oh boy, that's when those people are addicted. Like, I can put down Fortnite because with Fortnite, it's like, I feel like there are similarities. I can't really say I've played a little bit of League, but, like, I don't know. There's something about League players that they're just like, they're a fucking different breed. And you're like, what was my favorite part of this? I have to like find fucking what the fuck you're saying here. That I'm just fucking. First of all, this class action was brought to us by a bunch of fucking Karens. I'm trying to find the moment where they said that this is a real problem. Fucking whatever. I'm addicted to Fortnite. So fucking. I mean, yeah, you can be addicted to video games. Like it's hard. Like I've known people. I've lived with people who are addicted to video games. I don't think I was addicted to video. I think there like a year or two ago during COVID. Like I think I played video games like a lot, and I think it was just because I wasn't doing music, and it was like I don't know what the point is, of doing it, and I think it was just everything. But it's like behaviors including not sleeping, not eating, not showering, and no longer socializing with their peers. First of all, not sleeping, I get, okay, yeah, that's because they're playing games and they'd rather play another game. Not eating, I'm gonna put a doubt on that. I'm gonna put a doubt. Not showering, that's everyone who play that. There's a specific. Don't blame your. Are you upset that your child's just a neckbeard? That your child's becoming a neckbeard at this point? No longer socializing with their peers, like. I don't know, like, I played a lot of Fortnite solos, and I do enjoy playing by myself sometimes, but I think the one thing that makes Fortnite in other games that are, that are free to play, you can get your friends involved, is like, it's free to download, so, like, your friends don't have to spend any money, and you get to talk to your friends and hang out with your friends, and also during the pandemic, that, like, really saved me. Like, if it wasn't for that, I would have been pretty fucking bad. I could have been fatter. That's cool. Anyways, though, parents, you're worried about your child being, and also the money thing. I also want to talk about that. That's all optional. Like, and so, best thing I can say is keep your credit cards and debit cards hidden from your children. Don't let them find it. That's one thing I will tell you. And that way, because they probably don't have a bank account or whatever, so they either have to spend their own money, they have to go to like Walmart or Walgreens or whatever, and they have to buy like a V-Bucks card to buy their own skins. That's just their own money on it. Like buying the skins isn't addictive. Like the idea of like how gambling becomes addictive is because there's like a winning to it, and that gives serotonin in your brain. And so you need that that rush, and you want that feeling to keep coming back, and you want to keep winning and winning. That's how you get into gambling. But Fortnite, and honestly, I 100% believe that Fortnite is honestly a very good game about not pay to win. Like there's some other games that are free to download, pay to win. Fortnite's really good about that. The only thing you'd really pay for is your battle pass, which honestly, if you don't buy a lot of skins, you basically earn V-Bucks through the season, and you can get enough V-Bucks to pay for the next battle pass and stuff like that, as long as you don't buy skins. And then at skins, like there's optionals. You get some with the battle pass, obviously, as long as you level up and stuff like that and play. But then you can also buy them, which is optional and stuff like that. So parents just be like, you have to use your own money for that, or if you're good, I'll buy you you have to buy them a gift card or stuff like that. That's the best thing I can say to parents. Never put your own credit card into Fortnite. That'd be, if I was a parent, do not do that. always just buy them a V-Bucks card, and then, if they run out, they run out. And it's a good way. And it's also very good because you have the V-Buck money. It helps children learn money management. It's like, do I really want this skin, or should I save it for maybe something else I really want? But then there's some Fortnite streamers, you buy them all and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't do that. I only buy the ones I like. I've only bought Marvel and Star Wars ones. I have a Stormtrooper, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I usually just use Spider-Man. That's usually my main one. Spider-Man or Captain America, my usual skins. Anyways, the news segment's going on long. Let's get to our last article. Okay. Well, it's another segment of, we're ending today's episode on a segment of
cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
Garth Brooks reveals the emotional moment Trisha Yearwood brought him to tears. This is from Yahoo Life. Hearst Magazine and Yahoo may earn commission on or revenue on some items through the links. How did that make it into this? Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks stepped out for a night on the town, and they both looked stunning for the black tie affair. The country music power couple attended the 45th annual Kennedy Center's honors, where honorees including Amy Grant, George Clooney, U2, and Gladys Knight were recognized for lifetime artistic achievement. Garth was one of the honorees in 2021, and this year, he and Trisha took in the ceremony. Trisha had a special honor for the evening. She sung the Star-Spangled Banner. Garth talked about the night on his Inside Studio G, a Monday night conversation on Facebook. Garth said about his wife of 16 years, so you're sitting there in the Kennedy Center, and they say, everyone please rise for the president and first lady. And they all come in there, and the first voice you hear is Trisha Yearwood. Oh my God. And you just start bawling. You just start crying, and you don't stop crying. And that's the way the night started. Trisha shared a photo from the evening. She wore a sparkly form-fitted green and blue dress with a long cape. For a similar look, check out the cape sleeve party dress or the mermaid song. Why? How did that? Garth was a country formal in his black hat, black shirt and tie, and jeans. Trisha captioned the photo, a special occasion deserves a dress like this and a date like him. XO. Garth replied, lucky to be in the same room with this woman. Love G. Fans left comments praising the couple and their looks for the evening. They did not leave comp. I assume they had to dig pretty fast for these comments on a Garth post. Gorgeous dress. My favorite power couple. Beautiful. And Garth looks pretty handsome. Absolutely stunning. Stunning for both of you. Trisha, you have the best hair. I'm going to be honest. Those were not the comments. They were Garth, where are the bodies? Are they going to honor the bodies you buried, Garth? That's what they said. You can find me commenting on that shit. You just follow Garth Brooks, and you'll just see me commenting on it. And you'll see @TheSchweezy commenting on it. Where's the bodies, Garth? Do it for mankind. And then laughing emojis for mankind. Anyways, though, well, that wasn't much of anything. But yeah, let's honor Garth. I know I have a friend who works in Christian radio, knows Amy Grant. So I think he was posting photos about this, but didn't realize an actual murderer was in the audience, folks. Everyone's like, we're gonna guard Joe Biden, and it's like we have to take extra precautions tonight. Oh, is it because you're taking Joe Biden out in public to like a public formal event where he could easily be killed? No, Garth Brooks is there. That's the reason why we're extra protective of the president tonight. And it's weird he sang at the inauguration too, which is like now you have to do double security for January 6 rioters and Garth Brooks. So that's what we call
cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
Have you ever been out in public and thought, hey, look at that fat guy, only for it to turn out to be a mirror and you are in fact the fat guy? That was the moment that kickstarted me into becoming the greatest health expert the world has ever seen. But I wasn't born being built different. Like Joe Cocker before me, I get by with a little help from my friends. And my friends happen to be today's sponsor, FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while you work out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder, by using the link in our description today. You can save 15% on your purchase. Go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're at the beach, you aren't going there naked, letting everyone see your little shrunken PP from being in the water. No, you're wearing some sort of clothing to cover up your privates. So why would you let companies you buy products from have access to the privates of your credit cards? That's where today's sponsor, Privacy, becomes the clothing for your credit card information. Privacy is the first payment product that keeps your personal information private while being even more convenient than using a physical payment card online. Privacy empowers you to protect your physical card information. Each merchant you share your card information with puts you more at risk to hackers or data breaches. Why not use a privacy card instead? By creating a virtual card with privacy for each merchant you shop with, your physical card is safe and secure. Privacy cards can be paused or closed at any time, preventing any future transactions from being authorized. Privacy cards can also be single use, meaning they close after just one authorized transaction. One of my favorite ways to use privacy is for a service with a free trial that requires you to put in a credit card to sign up. But wait, there's more. By using the link in our description, you can get $5 to spend anywhere. That's money you get to use. So start paying the smart way with Privacy. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Why weren't you at elf practice?
All right, boys and girls, it's another time for the Christmas Schweezy, the Christmas Schweezy tradition, where we go over Christmas movies, the Christmas movie reviews. Beginning of Cancel Schweezy, we used to do a lot more movie reviews, and they've kind of staggered. What I need to do, actually, no, never mind. I'm not going to talk about fucking inside baseball on this show. Anyways, though, so we do movie reviews. We used to do a lot more movie reviews, but we do a lot more. The whole month of December, we do movie reviews, except for the last week. We do my favorite albums of 2020 or 2022 or whatever. Insert whatever year we're doing this. But anyways, though, this year I wanted to do, more like at least the movie reviews I wanted to do were movies that like I would say like if someone asked me like have you watched this movie, the answer would be like yeah, I've seen this movie, and like they give me the movie, it would be yes. But it was like last week we did Home Alone, which that's a classic, and it's weird that that's not really part of my rotation. Now this week we're doing this week, and this week this was a movie I probably saw one time. It was at my Aunt Judy's. Long story short, my Aunt Judy is a lot older than my dad, so she's more like a grandma to me than an aunt. And my dad and so we'd visit her. It was like visiting grandma. And this is the Aunt Judy. In her basement, she had like a small TV, and like it was only for like when she had me and my brother were her nephews, and then her grandkids when they came over. We hung out in the basement and goofed around. You're like that 70s show. It wasn't as nice as that, surprisingly enough. But anyways though, like that's the basement. And you're like memories with Aunt Judy, that'll always be precious to me. But that basement was where I discovered Paramore for the first time. So that was special. Like you saw Haley Williams. It was like right when Misery Business came out, and I saw Haley. I was like, I think something's awoken in me, and like yeah. But anyways, though, this was the house before that. This is when I saw the movie Jack Frost, starring Michael Keaton. This is a movie. And so that's that. So I've only saw it maybe like one time. I had to have been a small child when we put it on the TV. It was like so much so. It was probably like when you're young enough where like you can kind of like you can kind of function, kind of understand what's going on in life, but like at the same time, like movies that aren't necessarily cartoons or like made for kids don't really like register, in your mind, like you don't really get it, so that. So yeah, this week we're reviewing the movie Jack Frost, and I think it may have been last year sometime. I don't know who the one who commented this one, but whoever the fuck suggested that I watch Jack Frost, personally, I would like to, because I can't remember who you are, but I know you're out there, and I can't imagine you stop listening to this show. Fuck you. Thank you for listening though, but fuck you for making me watch this movie. I will explain more later on why whoever the fuck told me to watch the movie Jack Frost, they can go fuck themselves. Because fuck them, We're gonna get into that in a little bit. I just wanted to bring that up. Basically going into this movie, like, what did I know going into this movie? I knew it was not actually about, like, the Jack Frost character. I knew it wasn't about, like, the mythos of Jack Frost. Regardless of all of it, what I would want is for Michael Keaton's Jack Frost, the Rankin Bass Jack Frost, Martin Short's Jack Frost from the Santa Claus 3, and maybe a couple other Jack Frosts come together that I didn't mention to come together so we can go into the Jack Frost verse, where all the Jack Frosts come together to save humanity. Only then will God be satisfied with what humans have done on Earth. That is the only time God will be okay. Unlike the 3 Pinocchio movies that came out in 2022. Yeah, 3 Pinocchio movies came out in 2022. I haven't seen the newest one, but the other 2 sucked. I'm just being honest. The other one was funny because, like, he was like Pauly Shore was being gay, but like fucking Disney. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm not getting into that. We're talking about Jack Frost with Michael Keaton today. Into the Jack Frost verse will be for another day, another life. Anyways, though. So Michael Keaton, that's his name. His name is Jack Frost. That's his name. His name is just fucking Jack Frost. That's why the movie's called Jack Frost. His name is Jack Frost, and he is a musician. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be able to get into this movie. I was watching it. We would also know I was very drunk when I was watching this movie. That's also very important to how we're gonna go to it. So we're watching. So what band is Jack Frost playing? Well, I'm here to tell you. He plays in the Jack Frost Band. They're kind of like a blues band, blues rock. I would say they're more blues rock. Now, Michael Keaton is he plays guitar and he plays harmonica in this band, but they do a big emphasis on the harmonica. Now, fellas, this goes to anyone who wants to fuck a woman. I said fellas, but I feel like when I say fellas, it's like anyone who wants to fuck a woman should be in the fellas. Like, boys is everyone. Like, when I say boys, that's everyone. When I say fellas is for anyone who wants to fuck a woman. If you want to fuck a woman and you think music is your gateway, I'm going to tell you right now, harmonica is not it. I just talked to a friend. Mandolin is not it either. Banjo is probably not it either. There was like a 3-year period in like 2010 to 2013, maybe 14, where you could get laid playing banjo. But no one likes the Lumineers anymore. I certainly as fuck do not like the Lumineers. The fact that the Lumineers exist pissed me off. I don't know any of the members though. The members can exist, but the Lumineers, but them coming together and making the Lumineers fucking pisses me off. So yeah, he abused that. But he had but I noticed though, because I am a musical genius, I noticed that like 2 of the pickups in his Stratocaster, he played a Fender Stratocaster, 2 of them were black, the pickups, but typically with the white pickguard, and the 3rd one was a white, meaning he modded that Stratocaster. Probably meaning if we're going to talk about, it is that low budget and they borrowed someone's guitar and they're just like, we're not gonna fuck it up. They're like, hey man, we really need to borrow your guitar. We're gonna guarantee, I'm gonna tell Michael Keaton to not fucking ruin it. Anyways though, also we're plot holes in the movie. We gotta go over this. He threw his harmonica just, I think, anywhere. And then he started singing, then he pulled out, then he had his harmonica again in that. So I don't know how many harmonicas he probably bought to the show. I was thinking like that's a plot hole, but I also at the same time was like, maybe he has like 30 of the same key harmonica. And for those of you who don't know, harmonicas are a certain key, and if you're playing if you're playing even a 1-hour set of music, you're playing more than one key. And so he would have to have multiple harmonicas, meaning he would have to have multiple harmonicas of the same key. Also, the band has a violin player. I don't know any blues bands that have violin players unless they're going to probably play some country. But also at the same time, the kind of gigs I feel like he's getting does not require a violin player, because then it means they have to pay the violin player it's probably not worth it to even add them in the band. Maybe the guitar player can just probably figure out the parts or whatever. Anyways, though, I think for the most part that's done with the music. The band doesn't really come up ever again in this movie, and you're gonna soon find out why. Then we're introduced to Jack Frost's son, Charlie Frost, who is clearly Jack Frost of the Jack Frost band's son. Just wanted to make sure you knew. Charlie Frost is the son of Jack Frost, who is in the Jack Frost band. Also, and I think I just wrote down here, musicians shouldn't have children. It's just, I mean, like, I know we all want to have families and lives and all of that. And I'm a musician too, so I can speak on behalf of this. I'm like, you love your kids, but like, it's hard to do music with kids. And one day I'm gonna have a kid and I'm still gonna do music. So I love the kid, but I'm not gonna stop. And so it's just easier when you're like, yeah, this guy has a kid, whatever. So anyways, though, Michael Keaton comes home from his gig, aka Jack. It's gonna be. I'm not gonna call him Jack Frost. I can't call him Jack fucking, because it's not anything to do with Jack Frost, the mythos. I'm just gonna call him Michael Keaton. Okay. They build a snowman and they use Michael Keaton's clothing, and I don't know, for some reason that gave me anxiety. I don't know. It was just like, use my hat and my scarf. I'm like, well, you might need that tomorrow, buddy. Like. When you have a snowman, you find old clothes. I remember we had like a snowman kit. My mom has a picture of me and my brother with the snowman somewhere, and they bought me the largest jacket that has ever exist on the smallest child. I remember when it was like, now I'm an adult, and so like I'm very good at knowing like, hey, if I need a jacket, but if it's like, sometimes if it's just like walking in the store, walking out, I'll go lighter, but if I know I'm going to be outside, like, I know what to get. But my parents were like, the biggest fucking jacket, it is 50 degrees. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, there was a snowman, and we had like a snowman kit or whatever, and you don't use shit like you want to reuse on a snowman. Then he gave his son a harmonica, and he's like, blow into it if you ever, blow into it if you... I'm going to do a Michael Keaton to it. I know he's played Batman and everything, but like... I feel like when I started getting into movies, like he's played like Birdman, the Vulture, which don't watch Morbius, I'll ruin the Vulture for you. He's like, hey kid, if you ever need a harmonica, just blow into it and you'll find me. And harmonicas are always finding jam sessions. So this kid's just like, y'all want to jam right now? We're like, well, man, like the drummer has to set up his drum set. I'm playing electric guitar. I have to set up a lot of things. Harmonicas like, just fucking whip it out. It's so fucking annoying. Anyways, though, so it was like, play this harmonica if you ever knew me, kid. That's like a Michael Keaton thing. I'm just gonna read my notes here. This is the moment in the movie. Oh yeah, so I started looking up all the fucking, background information on all these characters. So it was like Michael Keaton. So I just looked up Michael Keaton's like Wikipedia page. His full name is actually Michael Keaton Douglas. The same name as the guy who plays Hank Pym in Ant-Man. Meaning that when Michael Douglas went to Hollywood, he was like, I want to be Michael Douglas. And they were like, that's taken. And you're like, well, can't we have two Michael Douglases in acting? No, we can't. So he had to change his name to Michael Keaton. Or there's another story there. That's the only story, or whatever. But I'm still fucking mad about fucking Morbius ruining the Michael Keaton. Because, like, the post-credit scene set up, like, Scorpion, maybe even Vulture's return in Spider-Man Homecoming, and then they're got like, damn, like, we're gonna transport him to the Morbius universe. You're like, I have a beef with Spider-Man, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had a beef with someone in my universe, but then I got transported to another universe, I would probably not have beef with the version of that person who exists in the universe I was transported to, because I have beef with the person in the universe I was in. That's my deal, Sony. You have to understand that, Sony. And also, Michael Keaton's Vulture was like, Spider-Man did me good. He helped my family and everything. That's why he didn't reveal his identity to Michael Gargan. Something. I can't remember the Scorpion's name. And so they're setting up the Scorpion. Hopefully that works out. Anyways, though, I'm done talking about Morbius. We have like two There's like 2 highlights on Morbius, all right? We've been talking about that enough. Okay. All right, so Jack was in the studio because his band had to record a song or something like that. Now this is before, there's some shit going on here, but he missed his son Charlie Frost, son of Jack Frost of the Jack Frost band's hockey game, because he was held up in the studio because he was bitching about what he wanted, which was Jack bitching about what he wanted. I mean, they did not have a good producer, meaning Jack was the one producing it. And Jack was not like liking the arrangement and shit like that, and like, I'm just thinking about like, me working in a studio. I'm a producer. I'm like, you're paying me by the hour, like, and I'm like, you're paying me by the hour. So, there's a lot of fucking shit there. But so like that whole, basically they used their studio time as basically a practice space with recording shit, which would have cost them a lot of money, but they were like almost going to get signed by a record label. And people were like, yeah, we got a $10 million record deal. When people tell you that, and this is just inside music right now, people tell you they got a record deal, but they got like we got like a $10,000 record deal to make this album or something like that. That's basically them saying like, we were given $10,000 as a loan to make the album. That's what they're saying. They make it sound fancy, so it sounds like a good thing. But it's all it is just a loan. And the idea is you record the album, you sell the album, you make that money back. And then after whatever you pay for the loan, you make a profit. That's basically what that is. And so now you have a lot of bands, you're like, we're getting home studios and stuff like that, or like going to a cheaper studio, or going to like a specific producer's studio, so they're not paying for studio time, but they're paying for the producer's time. Just how it is. But back then, I can't remember what year this came out. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I think it's in the 1990s. It's in the 1900s for the Gen Z out there. It's in the 1900s and stuff like that. So good chance that the studio either was still recording a tape, or basically they had this thing, it was like digital tape. I need to stop ranting about this, but basically what it was basically like recording to a tape, but it was like this very expensive system at the time, at least, where basically they treated it like you're recording to tape. So it's digital, but in a box, but it's not on a computer. And it's like tape, but it's digital. So if that makes sense, it's like if you buy a digital recorder, you do that, but it's multi-track. Hopefully, I don't know how to make that even make sense to like someone who's not into studio shit. But eventually, since Jack wasted all his fucking time at the studio missing his kid's game, where usually it would be like, hey kid, what time's your game? 3 p.m. We're going to the studio at 8 a.m. It was like, okay, 8 to 9, we're not getting anything done. Everyone's setting up and everything like that. So at 9 o'clock, go 9 and maybe like 2:30. We're like, oh, we got to end at 2:30. And whoever's in charge is like, okay, the studio's done at 2:30 or whatever. And then you dick out. Apparently he didn't do this shit. So you missed the game. And Charlie like asked his dad, why are musicians so flaky? Basically, you don't have to be a flaky musician. You just have to understand how your schedule works. And it's really funny. Like I talk to friends who aren't musicians, and they're like, I don't have time for this. And they tell me like they don't have time for this. I'm like, it's called time management. And if you're a musician, you figure out your time management. Like, okay, so I definitely have to be at this thing. Let's say like, oh, okay, I definitely have to be at this thing at 7 o'clock today. However, though, I'm with my band, and, it's like we're going to start recording at 1, and we don't know when we're going to end. I have to be somewhere at 7, so before 7, that's where we're going to end. And so then my mind is like, okay, we have to be efficient up until that time, instead of being like, oh, let's just see where the creativity goes. No, stuff like that. And so I always hate when people are like, I don't have time for anything. I'm like, you do have time, you just don't know how to use your time properly. So fucking annoying. So yeah, his dad's being a flaky musician, and he figured that shit out. So they're getting ready for their Thanksgiving or their Christmas vacation, not the movie, just their Christmas vacation. They got like a cabin or whatever, and that's where they're going for Christmas. And they're like, Santa gonna make it to the cabin? Like, I don't know. Think of it like, oh yeah, no, and like, but Jack has to like, well, we're meeting this record label at Christmas Eve, what some shit like that. So the whole band has to be there. We have to meet this record label, and like that's the shit that I don't get. Like the music industry generally, for the most part, we take off like the Christmas, New Year's era, unless you're specifically playing a New Year's show or like a Christmas show, or like you work on a cruise ship, or you're somewhere like Branson or Gatlinburg. There's only like real examples I have. Or a cruise ship, like where you're like yeah, we're gonna be working Christmas. That's just what it is. We're gonna be playing a show Christmas for people who want to see a show Christmas. That's what you're doing, and that it's like football players too. Like they know, like, oh, I'm playing on Thanksgiving, I'm playing on Christmas, I'm playing on New Year's. Like that your family knows that. It's just what it is. But like for something like we're gonna have music industry meetings on New Year's Eve, that shit doesn't happen. Like unless it's like a big show where money will be made like that. Like whatever meeting they're having with this record label executive, no money is being made other than at the day of time of signing or whatever this day is. No money is being made this day. So that's not something this works. So it's always weird, But I guess they decided to cancel it at the end of it. Just like they're in the middle of nowhere. They're like, okay, guys, let's cancel it so we can spend time with our families. And so, and then after that, Jack was able to get a car from the other band, the keyboard player in the band, which the band has a keyboard player. And he looks like a keyboard player too. And if you tell me I look like that fucking keyboard player, I'm going to fucking come to your house and punch you in the face. Next podcast, you're going to be listening to me on your little headphones. I was like, remember I told him he looked like the fucking keyboard player in Jack Frost? And you're just going to be fucking roundhouse kick to the face through your fucking headphones or phone speaker or wherever you fucking listen to the show. Oh, and by the way, Jack Frost, he died in this car crash. He did die in this car crash. And this is the moment in the movie where I realized, like, I fucked up. Like,
congratulations, you played yourself.
That's where we got to at this point in this movie. So then we cut to a year later, and I was like, how dare this movie do this to me? And then what the fuck just happened? I'm like, I was not, whoever fucking this is where I was like, whoever, at this point, it's the dad dies, and then you get to watch the kid fucking deal with this shit. This is where I'm going into. Whoever the fuck, it had to be maybe last year. I don't remember. If you leave a comment on this stuff, I appreciate it. I love it. But I'm not going to remember your names unless you're nice to me. This person was neutral, so I'm not going to remember it. Therefore, I'm going to say, whoever the fuck be like, next year you should review Jack Frost, Michael Keaton, because it's a notoriously just weird, bad movie. And people don't like it. And then my dad died, and now I'm just saying, fuck you, and fuck your entire goddamn fucking existence. And, the kid's dealing with the fact that his dad died, and it's near Christmas, and he's, like, going to the 1-year anniversary. And he's a child, and he's not old enough to be, like, finding friends who help him find alcohol to let him drink or whatever. So he can't just fucking deal with it like normal adults. He has to deal with it as a fucking kid who doesn't drink and is normal and not a fucking degenerate. And then Charlie Builds a Snowman to fucking Landslides by Fleetwood Mac. First of all, fuck playing that song. I didn't want to hear that shit. I'm trying to make a podcast where we all just fucking laugh and goof around and shit like that. It's like all we're trying to do is just goof around and stuff like that. So he builds a snowman. I would love to, and I just wrote in my notes, I'd love to beat the fucking shit out of this movie. Like, if this movie became a human being, I'm not even that violent of a person, but if this movie became a human being, I would beat the shit out of it. So after building the snowman, Charlie, he plays the magic harmonica, and then I guess the magic of both the harmonica and Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. All that montage, I guess the snowman comes to life. Similar to that Campbell's soup commercial where the snowman comes to life. But honestly, the snowman looked very CGI, which CGI is like, if it's something like very CGI, it's not too bad until it gets into Uncanny Valley. But the Campbell's soup commercial with the snowman, where the snowman like walks inside, eats the soup, and basically dies or transforms to a human, that one's creepy. So yeah, started drinking more, because his fucking dad came back to life as a snowman. I've been having, I've been having reoccurring dreams where my dad's just alive, and like the whole thing, it's like, I wish my dad was still alive. That's not the problem. The problem is the grief and torture, you go through doing a funeral for someone. And then it was like, he's just alive. I'm like, Dad, we had a whole ass funeral for you. We buried you. We all gave speeches. We all tried to get closure. We all tried to do this shit. And he's like, well, I'm still alive. I'm like, that's the dreams I fucking have. Where he's just alive like that and shit like that. Well, because I don't think my actual dad, he would not have done that shit. If he was just still alive, he's like, Dad, we had a whole funeral for you. We buried you and everything. And you're just alive. He's like, yeah. You just gotta get used to it. I'm like, I don't think I can get used to this. Anyways, though, now his fucking dad's alive as a snowman, which honestly, I don't know. Do I want my dad alive? I'm just, I'm trying to accept his death still. I'm just trying to accept this shit. And then come back to snowman. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, I guess they get into a snowball fight later, and then Jack Frost's like, oh, I'm gonna protect my kid. I'm gonna protect him from a snow fight. Similar to how Buddy did in Elf, but they did it better, even though this movie, I think, came first. But powerful. But Jack, I guess, the snowman Jack Frost proves to Charlie Frost, son of Jack Frost, of the Jack Frost band, proved they were real and everything like that, so everything was hunky-dory. And he's like, that's my real dad. He was able to prove it, with, I guess, just normal talking. But Michael Keaton Snowman wants to be a good father, but he's a snowman, so he can't do anything, so he has to live outside. But if he goes inside, he melts and shit like that. It's just fucking, this is the movie, If your dad didn't die, you're like, this movie is kind of fucking dumb. And then your dad dies, you're like, my dad's alive, but he's a snowman. I gotta keep my dad alive. And you're like grieving. And he's like, Charlie wants to tell his mom what's going on. It's like, you can't fucking do that. You're like, hey, Mom, that snowman outside, that's our dad. That's my dad. You can't. This is fucking. This movie's not only just disrespectful to people who lost their dad. It's just actually, no, I was right. It's disrespectful for anyone who's lost their father in the recent years, and no one should watch the movie fucking Jack Frost. If you have a dead dad, do not watch this fucking movie. I don't care if you're like, it's been 30 years since my dad died. Just don't watch this fucking movie. One, it's not even that good of a movie, folks. And two, you might just fucking bawl your eyes out watching this. So, and then, Jack Frost, Snowman Jack Frost, teaches Charlie how to do the hockey chase shot, middle of fucking nowhere, which apparently is the real closure he needed with his dad. And then he goes to a festival with his dad, the keyboard player, who does not look like me. If you tell me that I look like that goddamn fucking keyboard player, I'm gonna punch you next episode through your fucking headphones. You better. I will do it. Do not at me. He was like, oh, and then I wrote in my notes because I was fucking drunk. He's my kind of fat, and he said he really couldn't play music anymore after his, Jack Frost died, and he doesn't play bass anymore. Why did I write that? Okay, never mind. Oh no! It was because I was like, oh, if anyone's because my dad was a track cross country coach, and I hope anyone, I think my generality. Is that if anyone was inspired by my dad to keep doing something, don't stop because he died. Keep doing it. I don't know why. Everyone was it's different from music, and everyone, I don't know what everyone was doing. It was nice at his funeral. We saw a lot of his old athletes and stuff like that. They're all cool. One of them was one of my student teachers in 8th grade. We both hated that teacher, which was awesome. When I ran into him, he's like, I think I had you as a student. I'm like, I remember you now. So like that. Anyways, the hockey team van pulls up. Charlie hasn't been playing all season, but they're like, you want to come on the team? And they're like, sure. So he jumps in the van. I wrote no, remember, this is a child's hockey team? Now someone who was on the team is who probably got cut for Charlie. What am I writing? Oh, they were at a cabin? Oh, no, they were at their house. The movie came out in 1998. That's when this movie came out. Okay. So, worst case scenario. I was born in 93. Worst case scenario. I was 5, 6, over 5 years old when this movie came out. So that's when I last saw it. They let him back on the... I don't know what my fucking notes are saying right now. But anyways, they're trying to get, like, back... He was basically some whatever the fuck I was writing here up. Charlie's back on the hockey team, and Jack Frost, the snowman, formerly of the Jack Frost Band, decides to make it to the game. So the game's going on. Batman, Michael Keaton's trying to make it to the game. But it's hot outside, so Michael Keaton... This might be even after Christmas, I think, where it's like maybe like February, you know, when it's starting to like not be snow weather anymore. But eventually, you know, he makes it in time. The son does the J shot. All is well and good, and stuff like that. But it's actually not good because Charlie's dad is melting, and Charlie wants to fix it as much as possible because, like, my father is about to die for a second time. Now, I've had it happen once, and what a fucking week that was. But for that, and just say to anyone, this has been all about fathers dying. This whole movie has been about it, and that's why I watched it. And I'm telling you, this is the part of the movie I started bawling my fucking eyes out. Like, I was crying. I didn't know I could... I cried, and the only other times I've cried, the first Pokemon movie, when Ash was turned to stone and Pikachu was crying. I had cried 3 times my first viewing of Avengers Endgame. I'm also going to say I probably cried watching Tick Tick Boom with, on Netflix, because that one just gets me. And that's like my drunk, sad song. This is my 5th time, and I did not cry as much. It was like, a couple tears, emotional for the moment. This one, I just bawled my fucking eyes out. I bawled my fucking eyes out watching a kid. And, dealing with your dad dying one time was one thing. Dealing with your dad dying a second time, like that would... I'm getting emotional right now. I'm like, that would fucking... I don't want... I really don't want to do that, for real. So they're done the cabin, their dad's melting. I'm just gonna try to read the notes right now. Let's take another sip. They have to like get off a moving truck and go down a hill. Not let him die, They're trying not to let her dad die. I guess I'll talk to a snowman dad. Though I think Charlie's finally like, it's your time to go, and like he was like, I'll always be with you, Charlie. Even in death, make sure you keep that harmonica. And Charlie let him go, and I just fucking lost. I lost my goddamn shit at this movie. I don't even know what the fuck went on. And then his dad died, and things went back to normal, and I guess Charlie lived the fucking rest of his life. Like, God. Damn it. Anyways, though, that's fucking Jack Frost. Like, I hope I explained that well. Probably, I'm not going to say it's the only movie I've ever cried at, or like a movie I've cried at. It's probably the most I've ever cried watching a movie. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like, and it's not even a good movie. This is not even a good movie. That's the part I hate about this shit. It's not even a good movie. But it's just a fucking dead dad. He's like, I love you, Charlie. And I'm like, oh my God. I fucking hate this shit. So, what did we learn? Because, every movie has a lesson for some fucking reason. Like I said, whoever fucking told me, like, you need to watch the movie Jack Frost for your next Christmas review, fuck you. Next episode... I know you're listening to this shit. You're getting a fucking swift punch to the face through your headphones. Because I don't like that shit, and I hope you're ready. Why weren't you at elf practice? Because I'm fucking ready for you. Another lesson, if your dad recently died, don't watch the movie Jack Frost. If you've ever liked this movie, just eliminate it from any viewing of a movie you've ever watched. Just eliminate this movie from your mind forever, for the rest of your life. I think the last things I will say is fuck this movie, and I don't even think this movie is good.
What?
I don't think this movie is good at all. And fuck everything about this movie's existence. But Michael Keaton, I still like you, I guess. Have you ever cracked open a cold one with the boys? The vibes are on, then all of a sudden, you are out of cold ones? Though the vibes are still on, the vibes will soon go off because you are out of cold ones. There's no need to drive when you're under the vibes. That's why today's sponsor, Drizly, is here to make sure that the vibes continue. Drizly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. You know it's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. Drizly is my go-to app for getting all the booze I need so I can do other things. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizly. Drizly has proprietary ID verification technology that it provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizly may have a minimum order or delivery fee. So using our link in the description, get $5 off your first order with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. You're not a boomer who still goes to what our ancient civilizations called a store. You buy everything on the internet like a modern individual. What if I could tell you that you could be saving more on your purchases by only making a few clicks on your computer? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, will change your life. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in our description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo code, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It is 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with all of those many microtransactions. It's as simple as pressing a single button and you can start saving money. Not using Honey is basically throwing money away that could be saved for more important things. I recently had to get business cards for myself, and Honey literally saved me 60% on a pack of 500 business cards. It was amazing. Add the Honey extension to your browser today for free by using the link in our description of this episode. And when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Why weren't you at elf practice?
All right, it's time for Ask Schweezy, the part of the podcast where people out there ask me questions, and then I therefore answer them. So sometimes people are like, I don't like the way you answer this. I'm like, well, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, because I can't be telling you don't listen to this podcast, but also at the same time, I'll be like, some of it's okay.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Okay. Well, anyways, I always doing the Philip DeFranco.
Let's just jump into it.
My wife doesn't want sex anymore. How can I convince her to restart our sex life? My wife doesn't want sex anymore. How can I convince her to restart her sex life? Okay, you just give me, okay. That's a good question because, the first thing everyone's going to say, everyone who listens to this podcast is going to say, especially those of you who are not asking the question, and be like, you're not married. You don't know how to answer this question properly. You're a fucking phony. And to that I say,
I identify as a fucking threat.
anyways, but it's also the same thing as when the relationship gets stale. And everyone's gonna say sex is not an important part of a relationship. I'm like, sex is definitely because I feel there's a difference between you and your guy friends. One, if you're roommates with your guy friends, it's different. It's hard to be roommates with someone you're consider a best friend with. I'm telling you, it's very hard. But a roommate that you're, but at the same time, it's your wife should be your best friend. And, some guys are like, oh, she's not. And I'm like, okay, fella. We're not talking about you. But, guys who are like that. But also, when you get annoyed just being a roommate, the sex makes up for all that shit, And so it's different. But, your wife, you and your wife are first of all, I'm going to ask you a very important question. A question I bet you have not even asked her yet. Have you tried talking to her? Have you tried just asking her what's going on, talking to her and being like, hey, I just want to talk to you for a second. And I just want to be like, hey, we don't really have sex anymore. Why is that? Now, the question was short, so there's a lot of probabilities that could be going on. Are you not trying to initiate sex? Because if you're not trying to initiate, then maybe you should be trying to initiate sex. Because then there's the question of, are you not doing a good job at initiating sex? Because sometimes, you got to get a little bit of in. Foreplay King secrets. So this is the biggest Foreplay King secret I could possibly give. But women would honestly prefer, like, some women, it just depends, who you are, but, like, they'd prefer head scratches over, getting a dick down in Dallas, if you know what I'm saying. Like, a woman would rather just, like, orgasms are not as important to women. Like, give a woman an orgasm. You should be giving a woman an orgasm. But you're like, I'd rather have my back scratched or my head scratched or, like, and stuff like that over an orgasm. Some women are like that. Some women aren't, you know what I'm saying? But basically what I'm trying to say is, are you doing a good job at saying, like, hey, let's have sex? Are you doing a good job initiating? You can't just be like, let's go and dry, because you can't be doing that shit. And I know you're married. You didn't mention if you have kids or not, because kids are a whole fucking ordeal. Because you're like, because it's like she has the kid, and her body, like, still needs to snap back, and it's like, it's okay. Ladies, if your body's snapping back, you're okay. Like, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it has to happen. Yep, you'd be like, I don't know. If I saw a naked woman's body and you're like, what's going on there? And she's like, she just had a baby. You're like, that makes sense. All right, let's just wait. It's going to snap back, I remember I watched, like, Olivia Munn. I follow her on Instagram. Like, and honestly, she was in, like, X-Men Apocalypse, and I thought she was great. And she was great in that role. And that she, started dating John Mulaney, and then they had a kid together. And she posted, she's like, I don't feel very comfortable with my body right now. I haven't really snapped back from pregnancy. And now she's, like, posting some stuff. I'm like, you look great. At Olivia Munn, if you're self-conscious about your body, you should let women know. Like, because we all hate our bodies. And I just feel like we all hate our bodies and stuff like that. So if your wife hates her body, let her know that you want to fuck her. You're like, damn, bitch. Look at them. Come over here and give me a blowjob, you big-titted animal. Or something like that. Let her know you want to fuck her. And so, yeah, I guess the real question is communication. And I guess at the end of it, you have to communicate, why are we not having sex like we used to? And she may have to figure out the answer to that, and it may take her a little bit, because sometimes it's a self-conscious thing. Like, he's like, oh, well, I realized, hopefully it's not, like, I'm not attracted to you anymore. Hopefully you don't have kids and shit like that. But hopefully it's just like, maybe I do need to have sex with you more, Maybe she's a good wife, I don't know your wife. If I did, she wouldn't be with you. Just letting you know. I hope that fucking helped. I can't imagine I said anything good. My girlfriend has never had an orgasm with me. How do I make it happen? Here's the backstory. I have been with my girl for a year now. She told me before that she doesn't climax and has only had one in her life. When she explained it, it sounded like she is a squirter. She gets very close when we're together, but then stops me and says it hurts, that it stops feeling good and just feels like she has to pee. I've looked at ways to make a female comfortable to let it happen in that situation. No luck. Can anyone shed some light and some possibilities that might be going on? Well, I can tell you, I'm not going to answer the question, but I can give you some advice. I dated a girl who was very much, she was like, I guess she was similar to what you had, but she wanted me to stop before, the big moment happened. And she's like, stop. And I was like, okay. Because I'm not like that guy, like if a woman says stop, you gotta stop, you know what I'm fucking saying? It's called consent. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now? Anyways, no, I did a girl like that, and she's just like, I don't know, she was into like the whole like getting close but then stopping or something like that. I'm like, I hope that's the situation because it seemed like that was the situation I was in. I hope that was right. You can't. I'm not with her anymore, so like I can't really be answering those kind of questions. So yeah, it doesn't sound like that, but the way she talked about it, one time she was a squirter, and let's be honest, everyone. We're gonna be honest here. The world needs to know this. This is for the world to hear. Squirt is just pee. I learned that from science. I think we talked about it on this podcast. Squirt is just pee. And it's funny because in here, because it's very rare when girls squirt. For the most part, I've not been with one. Okay, I've not been with a squirter. I've gone full throttle. If you know what I'm saying.
Let's go full throttle.
I've gone full throttle. Satisfied. I've done everything I can. I've never got a squirter, and at this point, part of me feels like it's fake because some women tell me it's fake. But it's really funny because like you talk to women, it's different. It's so different. Like you cannot get a straight answer if you ask 5 women about squirting, and they're gonna give you different types of answers. But like science says it's pee, and the ones who do will probably be like it's pee. So basically. When she climaxes, she has to pee. So that's the answer. There's no answer to your question, minus the only answer I can probably give you to your question is that it's probably pee, and she probably has to pee, but like her orgasm involves pee. So what is your answer, my friend? What I can tell you probably, there was this one guy on TikTok.
What?
He was like, I have a waterproof mattress cover because women squirt in my bed. I'm like, okay, you need to calm the fuck down. That dude was like, you need to waterproof your bed. I'm like, dude, calm down. Anyways, though, you've been dating for a year, like things are serious, but it's like also at the same time you probably haven't had a good conversation about it, so you probably need to have the conversation about it. And I always say, like, at the moment, it's like, you need to have a conversation about this shit, and people are like, it's not that easy. I'm like, I know it's not easy. You have to do it. I've had to have rough conversations, like, all the time. My dad died. You don't think I've had rough conversations with people? It's a rough conversation, but, like, if you love the person, which sounds like you do, hopefully you love this person, it's easy, you're just like, okay, I want to figure this out, the whole orgasm thing with you, and because, like, I want you to do it, I want you to be having that shit, and if she's, but it also sounds like, if she's not, like, stingy,
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
like, she's not stingy, like, yeah, we'll have sex, but just, like, don't make me come. It's weird. So maybe she needs to figure some shit out. You need to figure some shit out. But like, also at the same time, be like, maybe worst case scenario, get a couple towels. Lay a towel down on your bed. Maybe do it in a bed that you don't have sex on. It's like do it on the couch. It's like the couch will dry. And then you just throw away the couch at some point when it gets too fucking sticky. You know what I'm saying? That I don't think that helped anyone. Why is it trendy to quit one's 9-to-5 traditional job? I've been seeing a trend which actually, with anyone who falls under the influencer, motivational speaker, life coach, and heck, even tarot readers. Yes, I know. And one thing they often push is being an entrepreneur. Why? What if something like having a boss in regular job? Why pushing this thing of being our own boss? I understand its advantages, but it is pushed away too much, in my opinion. Okay, I work as a musician and I do a podcast. So I do this podcast that generates money, and then other things, music producer, and then I play music live too. And I'll talk, about like the live music. I think the idea with why it's trendy to quit your 9-to-5 job is that, is the idea of, you have to say it this way. basically something as you would say to like someone like as an individual or person to person saying, do you enjoy working your 9 to 5 job? That's the question I would ask. And then it'd be asking someone like, do you enjoy working your 9 to 5 job? And they would say, yeah, I don't mind it. I like my 9 to 5 job. I have a good position. I like my job. It works great. And that's why you meet so many people who have 9 to 5 jobs, because apparently a lot of people just have good jobs. And then you meet people who are like me when I had to work 9 to 5 jobs. And you're like, do you enjoy your 9 to 5 job? And you're like, I would kill myself in the break room so this job would stop for a couple days. You know, like when I work 9 to 5 jobs, I wanted to kill myself. Why is that? I don't think it's necessarily the hours of working, and it's definitely, I don't think that's probably what you meant. We're like, why do you hate your 9 to 5 job? And he's like, people don't want to work anymore. And it's like, people don't want to work shitty ass fucking jobs anymore, Like I used to work day jobs and like, just try to get by and everything like that. But then, I was like working on like, I hate my life, Like I was just like, I'm not doing anything. All I do is like go to work, go home, try to work on my music, and then go to sleep. Like, that's all I do. And it was just, like, eventually I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's like, I'd rather be more, you still have to figure out ways. And I would definitely tell you, like, I play music. And so I figured out how to play music. And I'm not making as much money as I'd like to be. Like, I would love to be making more money than I am making right now. But, like, the money I make is still decent enough to, like, for me to, like, try and live on for the most part. But, like, for the most part, like, people's like, you need money to live, but like, also if you work a 9 to 5 job, like, you don't have that money to live. It's so annoying because you're like, I gotta work and work and work, and then sometimes you like work that 9 to 5 job, and you're trying to go home, pay bills and stuff like that, try to have a normal life, and then you realize like, oh, I still need more money, and then you have to work another job and stuff, and that's the whole like. The 9 to 5 job is not making enough money for anyone these days, and it's pretty fucking terrible. But at the same time, I forced myself into it, and I figured out how to live off of it, but it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not fucking easy. My fellow Americans.
I identify as a fucking threat.
And stuff like that. So when you talk about these and also influencers, fuck influencers. Like, I don't know, unless you can make money being an influencer, don't do it. Like, most of the time, they're just like, and realize that most influencers are living off daddy's money, so don't worry about them. I'm a musician, so I try to make money doing music, doing podcasting, and anything else in between that involves music, and I try to focus on that shit, like, right there. Why it was important for me to quit my 9 to 5 is because I fucking hated it. I wanted to fucking shoot myself in the face every time I had to go into that job and get abused by not only like customers doing the job, but management as well. Like, that made me want to do it. So like, I still told myself, I want to make money doing music. And so it's definitely in the idea of quit my 9 to 5 to do what? And if you say, you think about the do what, and you're like, I'm going to be, I have a friend, she quit her like 9 to 5 job, and now she's, a baker, and she makes desserts and stuff like that, and she's doing great. And also, if you eat all her desserts, you will become so fucking fat. I'm going to tell you. And that's a good sign for me, because it's like the Krispy Kreme effect. Because if you eat Krispy Kreme, I haven't approved this by her, so I can't give her out her name. But like, Krispy Kreme's hot, like, I'll eat like 5 of those, and you're like, that was pretty easy, because they're like softer. But if they're colder, they're like more hard, and it's like, this is an effort. But anyways, why people are quitting their 9 to 5 jobs? Because their 9 to 5 jobs will make them want to kill themselves. And then but it's important to think, like, what should I do to be able to stay alive? And you have to think, like, well, I like playing music, and like, I went to college for music. And it was like, I don't need to be working 9 to 5, like, for how much skill level I have in music. I don't claim to be a genius or whatever, but like, I should not, like, if I went to college, and like, as much knowledge that I have on music, I should not have to be working a fucking customer service job, And I don't know. And then you should think about everything in between. Like, do I have any skills? No. Maybe you're gonna have to work a traditional job until you figure out a skill, and then make sure you work that skill. Sometimes you're poor, sometimes you're not. Life's a dirty game. You got to play dirty to win it. And I'm gonna press this.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
And you got to deal with it. So. What types of clothes won't you wear? So, first of all, I like that question. So, like, it's weird because, like, I'm in a position where it's like, oh, I would say my biggest, what I won't wear, because, like, I'll wear whatever I need to for this podcast, but I also kind of put it into my style, whatever I wear on this podcast. So if I'm going to put on eyeliner, and I'm trying to figure out the eyeliner thing. But the thing is with the eyeliner, it's like, when I do anything, like, when it's like work things, like music and stuff like that, it's fun. It looks cool. But then, like, you're out in public or someone sees you, you're like, fucking, day, man. Oh, whoa, fighter of the night, man. Oh, whoa. You're and shit like that. But, like, I'm wearing a Christmas sweater right now for those listening. And, like, I'm fine with this Christmas sweater because it's, like, my Christmas outfit, I have the gold jacket. That's what I wear for, like, weddings when I dress up nice. And for the most part, I just wear a normal t-shirt. It's always, like, black. I always just wear, like, a black type of t-shirt, graphic tee, and then whatever, and jeans. What would I not feel comfortable wearing? Polos are really the big thing. Like, when I was in high school, we had polos for, like, our jazz band and choir. I think they eventually figured out, like, the jazz band and choir ones are the same ones for some people, and it said on my sleeve I was in jazz band and, like, or high choir or whatever. And, that was a decent hoodie. It was a decent polo or anything. But, like, and that was, everyone, and it's different, because when I was wearing that polo for, like, jazz band or, like, a choir thing, like, everyone else was wearing that same polo. So it's like, when other people are wearing it, it's not a big deal. But it's kind of I think what clothes you're not going to wear, it's like what you would not wear if it wasn't, like, a mandatory thing, which I think that's very important. And, I guess when I would say that, it's like, do you think a dress code for a school is a bad thing? I was like, well, if everyone's wearing it, no student's going to care. That's just how it is, But then when it's like, when you wear your own shit, there's other problems. But, like, I don't think there's a problem either way. Clothes I won't wear, polos. I think polos look bad on me. And, like, every time because it's like, we want you to dress nice, but, like, it's just casual nice, I'm like, okay, I just don't like the idea of there's, like, you need to dress nice, but, like, be in between what you would normally wear. I fucking hate that shit. I'm like, because that's where polos lie. And I don't look good in polos. Some guys look good in polos. Those are called normies. And for the ladies out there, those guys are probably, like, guys you would want to be your husband and have your children. I just want to say that real quick, but, like, me in a polo, I just look so fucking dorky and shit like that. Because the way I dress is like, okay, I do this podcast, and, most of the time it's just a t-shirt. Sometimes, I put on the gold jacket, and I feel like the gold jacket is, like, full throttle.
Let's go full throttle.
And then, it's like, you need to dress nice, but, like, it's not like cocktail. I'm like, so I just feel like the in-between is not good. It's like, I'll wear a tux. Like, if someone's like, you need to run to tux and wear it, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'll look good in a tux because someone will do my measurements and shit like that. I'll wear my gold jacket. I'll look nice. But then someone's like, yeah, it's just casual. Wear whatever you want. I'm like, I could probably make something, whatever I usually wear, look nice. But it's like, dress somewhere in between. It's just a polo for men. That's all it is. It's just a polo. And some men do not look good in polos, specifically me. So, fuck you. Do you honestly care or give a fuck about what people say about / think about you? It's a very good question because, well, for the most part, like, I've basically been living my life for the past, like, I would say 15 years, but, like, that's basically half my life at this point, in a way where it's like, yeah, you're kind of putting yourself out there for the most part. Therefore, people are going to say shit about you, think shit about you, and say things that you may not like about you.
That's rough, buddy.
And so, therefore, you should probably, have to form your life around that. And, like, I've always kind of, like, seen myself, like, I'm an entertainer for the most part. Like, I've always seen myself as an entertainer and someone who's going to entertain people. And that's, I've basically just been living my life that way and kind of moving my life forward in a way forward. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Towards that. So, do I give a fuck what people think about me? I mean, or slash think about me? I mean, like, the answer is always going to be yes. I'm always going to, like, give a fuck about what people think about me. It's like, it doesn't matter who people say they are. Like, I'm so famous and, like, I don't read comments and shit like that. And to be honest with you, yeah, they all read comments. They all read that shit. And a majority, you know, and you work on a field that's like, yeah, I make content that people listen to on the internet. Like, yeah, you're going to have a bunch of fucking assholes talking shit about you. I cannot tell you how many people on the internet have said, you look like this certain person. You know, I was told I looked like the guy who played Beetlejuice. And I was like, I look nothing like Michael Keaton. And they're like, the Broadway. And then we figured out it was the Broadway show. I'm like, okay, I see it. I'm like, that guy's pretty handsome. That guy is handsome. Let's just be honest. That guy is handsome. But yeah, like, do you care what people think about you? I mean, at this point, you know, because I you know, the way I live my life, you know, it's like I have a good chunk on the internet, like a big chunk of my life on the internet. And then my real life, you know, people in my real life don't really say a lot of fucking shit about me. You'll get those people, and then when someone's like actually want to talk shit about me, I'm like, do tell. And you know, I'm like, I'm kind of interested, because at that point it's like, this is a real fucking person telling me real fucking problems about myself, and I'm kind of interested. But then it's like, just people on the internet, you're like, I don't really care what you have to say. And you're like, because like, the thing is, if someone says shit about you on the internet, go to their profile. I guarantee you it's probably an anime character. And people, you know, I love anime. I love watching anime. Anime, the product is great. But if someone's making that their profile picture on a social, like a YouTube or whatever, they're going to comment and tell you that you're a fucking asshole. And you look at them, or like, well, you know, at least I put my fucking face out there. I don't think I'm that fucking ugly like you fucking do. And shit like that. So you have to honestly understand that it's like, you know, if you're going to put yourself out there, people are going to talk shit about you. But if you want to do research on them, they're not that much better. It's like, it's never the fucking handsome guys who are like, I fucking hate you. You fucking suck. It's always the fucking uglies who are doing that shit. All right, let's finish my... No, we're going to drink half of it. All right. Let's see. Am I good? All right. Why do incels, in quotations, take pride in this self-label? What is probably good about it? I just don't understand. Why would someone be proud about no one wanting to have sex with them?
What?
About being involuntarily celibate. I'm not hating. I just don't understand why this is even a thing. Wouldn't someone want to improve themselves so their preferred gender is more attracted to them?
I like that.
I like your question. I think you're very spot on, because this is something I was very confused about. It's like, if you're in a situation, because when you think about, like, you break it down, involuntarily celibate, that means you are purposely making your life in a situation where you're like, yep, I guess I'm going to make my life a way that I can't have sex. And, you know, it's like that. But I don't think incels think that way. I think incels think in the way they're like, no one wants to have sex with me. And that's why they're incels. And I don't think they don't really understand the specific purpose of, like, I'm involuntarily celibate. Like, that's what they are. What's what I am. And stuff like that. They just don't understand that shit. So think about it like that, was where they don't really understand the term. They think of the idea of being an incel is the idea of, like, being an incel means that women don't like me, and I'm going to take pride in that, you know. And then they start thinking a certain way, and they start going down rabbit holes, which is not good, because even if you're, like, going through a dry spell, you know, I've been living in Missouri, helping my mom out, and I've been going through a little bit of a dry spell. And part of it's a little voluntary, probably. I probably could have, but I'm like scared of someone. You just like, no, I shouldn't. This feels wrong, But so that's what I feel like. That's like every time I'm like, am I an incel? Because I'm not really having sex. And then you're like, you've been offered sex recently. You just said no. I'm like, okay. So that's I'm like, that's just like makes me feel good. But these guys are just like, women don't like me. And then they believe that women should like me. And it's so bad. Why someone would be okay with this label, I guess is your question. I would guess the reason why they're okay with this label is because they are so far in believing that they're an incel, like God just decided that they are an incel, that they need a community, and their community is this toxic fucking race. And you know what? I want incels to be funny. I want incels to make me laugh. And then I watched an incel documentary. It was not funny. I'm telling you right that. I've probably said that a million times on this podcast, but the incel documentary I've watched, it was not funny.
That's rough, buddy.
And the problem is, we were like, are neckbeards incels? I'm like, I get along with the neckbeards. They're fine as long as they take showers. I get along with all the neckbeards fine. We like all the things. We like anime. We like Pokemon. We kind of like you. I kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh. They like Yu-Gi-Oh. I like My Hero Academia. That's a fun show. But it's like the incels should not be associated with neckbeards because they're just into weird shit and they're into stuff. Incels are just, they're mad at the world and stuff like that. And it's kind of sad. And ladies, the question for the ladies, incels out there, who, first of all, I want to say, incels out there, lower your standards. Even though you're not attracted to her, find a woman to have sex with, even if you're not attracted to her. Just lower your standards that far. Ladies out there, first of all, lower your standards. That's also a good thing. But also, as a woman, you should just have lower standards. Second of all, find a guy who's nice and quiet, who maybe considers someone an incel. And if they have sex, they can't be incels anymore. That's what happened to the guy. Was it like 8chan or whatever? He was like an incel guy. And then a chick who was into disability guys had sex with him, and then he could be in the group, and he could be an incel. So, ladies out there who want to ruin incels' lives, like I believe most of the time incels have never had sex, right? That's the rule. Some maybe have, but like for the most part, if you're an incel and had sex, apparently it's a bad thing. Ladies, have sex with incels. Even if you don't like it or whatever, ruin their lives. That's how you ruin their lives. Have sex with them. Then they're kicked out of their community. We're ending this right now. All right. Last question of the evening. We made it. Why do people think being gay is a choice?
What?
We finally made it this far in this podcast. I myself am a gay man, and I sometimes am downright petrified asking some of my friends who have openly admitted they believe being gay is a choice why they think that is so. I can personally say that if I had a choice, I am 99% sure I would pick being straight. Parts of my life have been torture because of it. I get thinking that the action of doing something gay, man-on-man intercourse, is a choice, but to actually be attracted in love, the same sex couldn't be a choice for me, so I just don't get it. Yeah. I'm a big believer, and I know I'm okay if you're a man and you're attracted to a man. I just want to say that. Like, I'm a normal human being. But also, I also think that, like, being attracted to a man is a mental illness. I just think anyone attracted to a man is a mental illness. Women who are attracted to a man, mental illness. Men who are attracted to men, mental illness. However, though, I think having a mental illness is okay because I have one too. I have some too. I shouldn't say like I have one. I have some. So that, and so in my mind, that's how I justify a man being attracted to a man. It's like, look, sometimes you have a mental illness. Being attracted to a man is a mental illness. It doesn't matter if you're a man, attracted to a man is a mental illness, or if you're a woman attracted to a man, that's also a mental illness. I mean, anyone I'm going to date is going to have a mental illness because they're attracted to a man. And I've dated a lot of bisexual women because of that, and unfortunately, I cannot change the facts of how life has gone for me. They've chosen women over me. So anyways, though, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't you see, I don't know why, and this is something I'm like, I generally have a thought of. It's like, what makes your dick hard? Or I'm just talking about the guys, because I guess you're being gay is a choice. And you're talking about men on men. Like, you know, if I could choose, I'd be straight. Because, like, yeah, no one wants to date men. Like, it's just a choice. We all want to date women. Like, every gender wants to date women. I don't care what you are. But, like, this guy who's asking this question, I'm like, you know, like, this is not a choice. I'm telling you, it's not a choice. And that's the easy way to say to men, you know, for the most part, you know. Be like, you would never choose to be attracted to a man, right? And you're like, yeah. And we're like, well, some guys just, you know, it's just happen to be who they are. I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. As long as you don't fuck me. I'm like, I don't think they're fucking you. Fucking Jerry. Fucking your big-ass beer gut, bigger than mine. First of all, we're going to identify that it's bigger than mine. Second of all, like that. So, for the most part, yeah, no. What I would say, though, is I don't think you should, like, gender-wise. Like, you're attracted to what you're attracted to. I'm like, I watched Kim Possible as a kid. Now I'm attracted to redheads. Some people watched Lola Bunny. Now they're attracted to rabbits. I don't know how to make these things. Men are not as bad as they are. However, they figured out sex pretty quickly. That's a good thing. Anyways, though, I don't know what to say here, but no one chooses to be attracted to a man. It just happens. Being attracted to a man just happens. And you can't choose it. That's God's choice. That's God's plan. God gets to choose that, and you have to shut the fuck up about that. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of Cancel Schweezy. We made it to the end of the episode. Some of you are like, finally, goddamn. Anyways, thank you for listening to Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Thank you for checking that out. Last Christmas by me on Never Nude Records. Grandma got run over by a tour van. Last Christmas by Schweezy, out now. But make sure you go check that out. American Honey by Stonehouse, a band I've been playing with in a band I recorded, out now. Make sure you check out Stonehouse, all one word, to go check that out as well. Make sure you check out all my other music. Social media at TheSchweezy on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you go check those out as well. Twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. If you have an Amazon Prime account, go make sure you connect it to, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to financially support me and everything I do. Patreon page, great way to say thank you for being a friend, and all the free shit you can do. Like I'm saying, if you're an audio listener, go check out our YouTube page. Make sure you hit the subscribe on the YouTube page and share your highlights with your friends. And if you're on the audio platform, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 star review, and leave a review as well, like, you know, a written review. Don't be stingy, you know.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
So, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome. wish I was a shoulder to cry on, a face of a lover with a fire in his heart, a man undercover, but you tore me apart.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
Ooh, now I found a real love, you'll never fool me again. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. You just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. You are now one of the smartest individuals who will ever exist in our world. If you like that episode, make sure you subscribe. Whether you're watching this show or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we release full new episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, smash that bell button. That way you get notified anytime we make a post over here on YouTube. Honk if you love butt drugs, and yeah, stay awesome.